Hey everybody, Colin White here from Martechers with another Martech Minute. In this segment of the Martech Minute, we speak with Vinay Singhal. He's the CEO and founder of WittyFeed. Now, just a few short years ago, Vinay and his co-founders put a unique spin on publishing and monetizing viral online content. And from those humble beginnings, they built WittyFeed into one of the world's most popular viral content platforms. Want to learn how they did it? Tune in and find out here on the Martech Minute. Hello, everybody. This is Colin White from Martechers with another segment of the Martech Minute. And today I'm pleased to be joined by Vinay Singhal. He's the co-founder and CEO of WittyFeed. Hi, Vinay. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So WittyFeed, it's been called the fastest growing content company on the globe. So tell us a little bit about what WittyFeed is and how you founded it.
Yeah, it's a 3.5-year-old company. We started in September 2014. To go a little backwards, in 2012, we started with the Facebook page, and I always believed in. And the Facebook page came from a very core belief as a person that I have, is that we probably live in the best times of human civilization. People used to go to wars just to make their living out of it, and being a soldier used to be the best jobs. And today there are more people who die out of overeating than hunger. So I have always believed that the world has more positive to offer than negative, but just that the negativity and fear is more viral than anything else. It spreads faster.
Yeah.
And the media is so real time. The world is so real time today that everything becomes such a big issue. So we started this Facebook page called Amazing Things in the World. And the idea was very simple. We wanted to bring out the positive to the world. We wanted to give people something to look forward to every day. And it seems like the idea caught up very well. Within first 6 months, we had more than 1 million followers on that Facebook page and huge amount of traction back in 2012. That was my first ever introduction to the world of social media and content. I'm an engineer by education, so are the other two co-founders that I have. And so we realized that content is probably the way to make the best and the impact at scale if we really want to impact real human lives. I think that's where it all started for us. And then when we started so basically, I have always believed that businesses are about creation of wealth, not the destruction of it. And so I have never believed in the whole, the whole funding part of it, the whole, just take some money, burn it to gain some users. I come from a lower middle class family in India, and my father used to run a small general store in the village. And he always told me, if the shop doesn't make you money, there is no point of having it. You need to make sure that it gets you some money. So my business understanding is that the business has to make some money. It has to sustain itself and then grow from there. So I said, we have a Facebook page, we have 1 million followers here, but how do we make money out of this? If it has to sustain itself, if we want to do this for a long time. So that's when we decided to set up a website. We started to create content on the website, put up some ads from Google and all those guys, and started to drive referral traffic on the content that we were creating on the website. Now, we were doing all right. By the time so all of this was happening when I was still in my college. And by the time we passed out, we were making enough money, but we asked one simple question to ourselves: how do we scale this? And that is when I think the answer came was, there are so many Facebook pages, there are so many of these communities, and these people who are passionate about building these communities, but they don't know how to monetize those communities. Which is when we figured out that what if whatever we had done for ourselves, the website, the content, the technology, the infrastructure, the ads, everything, if we could package this into a product and give it to everybody who had a community, their life could be simpler. They could just take content from us, share it, and we would simply do a revenue share with them for all the
Right.
traffic that they will send it to us. We were literally the first one to do it in the right way. The only company who was doing before us was MyLikes, who were mostly shady content. And we did this in 2014, September 2014, which is what became WittyFeed. Today, that platform has more than 35,000 communities all across the world, across different platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, all different platforms. and that platform leads to 120 million unique users on our platform every month all across the world.
So when you talk about communities, that's, so just in the research I did about WittyFeed, there was the Viral 9 influencer program. Is that what you're referring to there?
That's the platform. Yes, that's the platform I'm referring to. So because, see, there were two different problems we were solving. Viral 9 was solving a problem for communities, and WittyFeed was basically the media face of it. So we kept these as two different platforms so that we could focus them properly. So Viral 9 is all about influencers. Viral 9 is all about distribution of content and technology, where WittyFeed is basically the face of it. WittyFeed is the consumer facing product, which is the media side of it, where content is created and people come and consume that content.
Right. Now, so 100 million unique users a month, that's obviously very impressive. What, from a geographic perspective, is that mainly in India now, or what percentage of that is sort of global versus the Indian market?
So we started with American audience being the highest number of people who used to be part of that community that we created. And somehow most of those communities that we brought on board were also very, English speaking first. So US, Canada, UK, Australia, those countries. So when we were starting up, we were all about that global audience. And I think that DNA has remained always there. So even today, while India has become our largest market, which is what is the case for most of the companies, India, we are 50 million users out of 120 that we do. 50 million makes us the largest new age media company in India, but we still do more than 40 million Americans, North Americans, which is US and Canada, every month on the platform. 35 million being from US and 5 million being from Canada. We do huge amount of people coming in every month from UK as well, around 8 to 10 million, and 2 to 3 million coming in from Australia as well. From the number perspective, just to finish, from the number perspective, every third American and every second Britisher was on WittyFeed in 2017, at least twice.
Yeah, so obviously it's a very global market then. So so what are your next steps for WittyFeed in the next couple of years?
So we started from a very small town in India. It's in the central part of India called Indore. We have grown from here now all across India and now in US as well. I was just in US, in SF in New York. I spent my first visit. I spent 10 days in New York and it was amazing there. We plan to expand all across the world. Now we have started our New York office. We have set up offices in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. We have set up offices in Singapore also now. So the idea is we have huge audience and the audience now, we want to offer it to the brands directly in terms of creating branded content for them. Content marketing as a medium of reaching out to the audience is growing, and we have done it already in India because obviously because we are from here and we understand the market and it's easier for us here. So we basically did it from here first, and we have done it successfully here. And now we are basically we want to replicate it in US and then probably in Europe and Australian markets as well.
Okay, so that's great. So that was kind of my next question. What's in it for brands, both? And I'm guessing it's mostly consumer brands that you work with from an advertiser perspective.
Yes, that's correct. Consumer brands are the top customers for us. Brands like Coke, Pepsi, Tinder, Reebok, Samsung, Panasonic. Most of these brands we've been working with them here in India, and Amazon Prime, Amazon, the shopping website, Flipkart, Snapdeal. All the big guys in India, we want to replicate the same in US now.
Sure.
What we have to offer is very simple. When I was telling our story, I said it is engineers. All three of us are engineers from the background. So we have always understood technology and data a little better than we understand content. And again, the DNA of our educational background came in where this is a content company to the outside world, but a technology and data company to the internal team. And we have always maintained that. See, it is not easy to create content for American audience, for young Americans sitting from a small town in India when you have never been to US. And I think technology and data made it possible for us, where essentially when we create content, we don't leave it to the creative and gut feeling of the writer. Instead, we feed him with a lot of data and we help him understand and decide what is that young American willing to consume right now, what is their appetite for content, what is that they are interested in. And let me tell you, if we were to believe our data and we were too scared to do that, we would have predicted Mr. Trump's win literally 6 months in advance, if not
Yeah.
anything. So, it's data that powers WittyFeed, and it's data that we are offering to the brands as well. To
Right.
give you a little bit of insight into the kind of data that we have, most of the people would believe that the young audience, the young Americans or Indians or the young community is not so much interested into politics. But let me tell you, they are. You just have
Yeah.
to give them the right angle of it and the right kind of political content, and they consume it like anything. And they have opinions and they respond to it. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of more insights like this that we have discovered with our journey with the young audience.
Very interesting. So I guess to kind of close it out here, we're reaching our time limit. One last question I wanted to ask you was, obviously with this, the whole election scandals and the Cambridge Analytics and scandal with Facebook. Facebook's making a lot of changes to their algorithms in terms of how they serve up content. What effect are those changes going to have on your business, and how are you going to adapt?
Huge, actually. Facebook algorithms have, of course, made a lot of companies shut down their shops. Little things got, we all know the story. Little things happened, and then across the world, a lot of small publishers are going away. One thing is for sure, that Facebook, the publishers are not their priority anymore. But I would say that the publishers who can create great content, and their priority, for example, right now is creating conversations, meaningful conversations among their audience. If we can create content that serves that purpose for Facebook, you still have a game there. And more importantly, I think as publishers, we all need to start working on ways to find ways to distribute our content beyond Facebook and Google and the bigger giants. And we are working continuously on that. Not right now, but probably next month I will do the same podcast again, and we are working on a solution which might actually solve this problem altogether for all the publishers in the world. I just said engineers, so we have a solution for everything.
All right, that's great. Well, thanks very much, Vinay Singhal. He's the co-founder and CEO of WittyFeed. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.